Welcome along everyone. Night falling in Devon as Exeter Chiefs and Saracens prepare to kick off in just a few minutes time. And do remember that the best way to experience the Gallagher Premiership Rugby on TNT Sports is with timeline markers on the Discovery Plus app. If you join a match late and miss a try, catch up before moving seamlessly back to the live action. And for those extra special tries, you can re-watch them over and over to your heart's content. Not just tries either, by the way. You can use those markers to check out penalties, conversions, drop goals, plus red and yellow cards. All this available exclusively on the Discovery Plus app. Check it out. It's a crisp winter's evening at Sandy Park, a lone weekend of Gallagher Premiership action and a vital opportunity to gobble up some points before the great Six Nations Jamboree cranks into gear. Exeter grinding away near the foot of the log, Saracens eager to cement themselves in those playoff berths. Rob Baxter makes 7 changes to the Exeter side, savaged in Belfast, most prominent among them a start for Stu Townsend, who plays his 100th Premiership or European game this evening. He's only 29, but comfortably the eldest member of a youthful backline spearheaded by the hulking wing Paul Brown-Bampo. Henry Slade, of course, away in Girona with England. Scott Seo and club captain Dav Jenkins return to the trenches up front. Richard Capstick slides forward from back to second row, and Jacques Vermeulen, linked with a move to Japan this week, is deployed in the loose forward trio. His dynamism and that of Greg Fisilau will be so very precious to Exeter today. Saracens' list of high-profile absentees longer than the longest caterpillar ruck, and resources spread most thinly in the back row. No Earl, Willis, Knight, Itoje, Ezekwe, Onyama Christie or McFarland. Max Eek makes his first league start alongside 20-year-old Nathan Michelot, with stalwart centre Nick Tompkins covering flanker from the bench and loose forward Harry Wilson playing at lock. Behind that lot, Louis Johnson makes his Premiership bow for Saracens in the pivotal fly-half position. An opportunity too for Brandon Jackson, a sprightly young winger who starts a league game for only the second time. Towering teenager Olamide Shodeke among the Sarries replacements. Definitely a young man to keep an eye on. Sam, key battlegrounds today.
Thanks, Jamie. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, for me, I'm looking at number 8. I mean, Greg Fisilau is long been known as one of the young up-and-coming number 8, so I think Exeter just have an edge on Saracens from a carrying ability, but Gonzalez is going to carry in a slightly different way to what we've seen with no Tom Willis, no Ben Earl. So they'd lack some carries, but Gonzalez, Fisilau, different players, but great matchup.
The big head-to-head in the backs for me is in the outside centre channel. Joe Hawkins at 12, can play at 10. He's in the most difficult position to defend on the field, up against someone with lots of experience, Alex Lazowski, but plenty of inexperience around him. Will that make him hesitate and try and protect his inside and just affect his defence slightly?
For so many years, Exeter Chiefs and Saracens have waged war in the latter stages of this great competition. The road from Devon to Twickenham paved with a hope and heartbreak, delight and despair, and so often the scourge of Exeter, the man, typically clad in deep Saracens black, wearing white today, standing in their path. Even now, with the passage of time and the inexorable turnover in players, Saracens are the team the Chiefs long to sink more than any other, particularly when Exeter are enduring a period as challenging as this one. Ivan Fonseal, the Saracens captain once again today for the 4th time, with Maro Itoje taking care of international matters with England. And for the 300th time as head of the StoneX Brain Trust, Mark McCall sends a Saracens team into battle on Premiership business. An astonishing 73% win rate in this tournament. Heavily depleted today, the visitors, but one of the great strengths of this club on the watch of this coach is the capacity to change personnel but maintain those sky-high Saracen standards. The depth and quality of this Saracen squad, the youngsters emerging through it, will certainly come under some scrutiny tonight. And now for the milestone man, Stu Townsend, out in front of the Chiefs on the occasion of his 100th fixture in Exeter colours in the Premiership and EPCR competitions. He made his Exeter debut 8 years ago this month, and as he lurks in the shadows, he prepares to emerge for top-tier game number 100. Stu Townsend kicked off his Chiefs career against Ulster back in January of 2017. 2 premierships, a Champions Cup, and 8 years later, he is still here, still so important, and still, in the words of Rob Baxter, one of Exeter's great cultural tone setters. What a racket at Sandy Park. The floodlights ablaze, Exeter's great foes in town, and the locals hungry for what would be just a second league win of the season. A win that would restore some much-needed feel-good and inject a Dell campaign with a flourish of colour. Ian Tempest will be involved in 3 Six Nations matches as TMO, and Phil Prey's scrutiniser in the bunker. This his final domestic hit out before making the step up. History and enmity baked into this match. And this match, more than most over the past decades of Gallagher Premiership Rugby. The snarling protagonists of old may be gone, but now it is time for new plot lines to be scribed and new heroes to announce themselves in this wonderful English rugby rivalry. And Stu Townsend's first job as newly minted Centurion will be to wheak that left boot into position and send one for Brown Bampo to leap after. Fresh airs it. And Inard, well, that's an awkward basketball pass, and Gonzalez has paused to it first. Puma paused to it. Exeter putting themselves under pressure, and now Lozowski fizzing one out towards Hartley. Fonseca, Piferetti, American international hooker. No Jamie George, no Theo Dan today, and the first penalty is met with those typical chorus of Wolfpack howls.
Excitement. As you watching the Leicester-Gloucester game will have seen a little bit of this, a bit of fire. Certainly a good start from Saracens in terms of their enthusiasm. Winning that first touch, Gonzalez.
Post call.
Just apologise if I picked up any foul language over the referee's mic. This is a game that lends itself to fiery tempers.
Extra players coming out in front of a ruck on those box kicks, so they're in front.
I thought they were put on side, but yeah, aware of it. Thanks, Foxy.
No, it's just an awareness.
Good read from Gonzalez,
Speaks
isn't
there,
it? And then he
not
does
necessarily
really
after the
well with his work on the floor to keep the ball alive, not allow a stationary target for a jackal to come and steal it back.
Frustrating start for Exeter, isn't it? I don't think they get the box kick right. Looked like it was going to go a lot deeper. You could tell from the way Brown Bampo chased it. He had to hold himself back. Then they throw a pass in. Then they don't roll away. It's 3 errors in the opening 1 minute.
Alex Lozowski silences the Sandy Park drum beats and shatters the deadlock.
I like the decision to go for posts as well. So often teams now will kick into the corner. It's a good tactic, but particularly when you've got a young, inexperienced side out, build that scoreboard pressure, just try and get a little bit of a cushion early on. It was a bit of a shot to nothing. It was an easy penalty to give away, and now they've banked those points.
First touch for 20-year-old Nathan Michelot, who was part of Mark Mapletoft's all-conquering England under-20 side of the past year. Six Nations champions, junior World Cup winners down in South Africa as well. Fonseca testing out Wyatt. First test passed. Inard hungry for possession. Big double shot from Piferetti and Michelot. Hawkins. Hayden Woods looking for Rigg, who has been at the forefront of just about every good Exeter attack over the past few months. Another dusty pass from the Chiefs, and Hayden Woods has to go grovelling on the ground. Townsend introducing Liam Williams for his first contribution today, and as you'd expect, it's a safe, pragmatic one.
Just stuck in the turf nicely for Williams, didn't it? Rode up, gave him plenty of time to get his eyes up, find his point on the touchline he wanted to cross.
Let go of players, please, at the ruck.
You might have heard the voice of Dan Jones, our TMO, just chiming in, just alerting Ian Tempest that Ethan Roots and his Exeter pals had been clearing out pillars, taking them well beyond the contact zone.
Once.
Just that one solitary league victory this season for Exeter, coming against Gloucester just before the European window, and errors like that have plagued them for a very long time.
Just a bit of hesitation. Maybe that's relationships. Inard there probably wants Townsend just to be a bit more vocal, exactly what he wants, and then Townsend equally wants Inard to get out positively, commit. Inard to commit Tizard and then just pull him half through the hole, but it just bounces up at the shoulder.
As you can see, Saracens' scrum statistically has been excellent, not winning them many penalties, fewest in the league.
Both of them need better height.
Wouldn't have really knocked off commentary. Scrum, hit higher, bind longer. Hit higher, bind longer. Quick reset. Easy mark. Sorry? Okay. Not too much yet, I'm just trying with you. Bind longer, stay high.
What do you see here, Ben, in the way that Saracens are shaping up? It's an enticing field position.
Very narrow in and around the scrum. Obviously got to go pass against the grain, coming back on sail. They're very flat as well, so I don't think this is going to be particularly width that they're looking for. They've got to get the ball out first. Interestingly, I'm pretty sure on that far side, or at the near side, we heard black, black, black. And then the arm goes up.
Standing up.
Against Saracens.
One a whopping 20 scrum penalties coming into this one. Make that 21. Only Leicester have more. Let's have a closer look at this infringement.
Thanks, Coxie. Open plays, lads. Standing up under pressure.
Not sure.
Needs flats for that one, I think.
Well, I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure it is, because Balmain, I don't think there does stand up. I think his opposite number falls underneath him.
Knock on from black.
CO.
Yeah, it's a good contest, and it's a knock on from black.
So knock on
Line out malfunctions
Yes,
from
correct.
Exeter, guddled in the air, and Lazowski bringing Saracens away. This is young Brandon Jackson, fleet-footed winger. All the skills playing for Amptill earlier in the season. Gonzalez, Lazowski, whacked by Feyi-Waboso and Vermeulen. It's a bit of Greco-Roman wrestling going on in there, and Jack Vermeulen has been suplexed out of that ruck.
Excuse me.
I must admit, it looked like one of those accidental things where someone's on top. You perhaps don't know what angle they're at, but is there a clear lift? There is a little bit. There's a lift and let go from Gonzalez.
Yeah, tempo, you're going to have to check this.
Time off.
He doesn't pile him into the ground. That's one of the things they look at, but he does let go of him, and he lands directly on top of the head.
We've obviously got the injured player. We're now going to see if there's foul play and the level of sanction. So at the moment, I've stopped the game due to an injury.
Does he lift him above the horizontal? There's Gonzalez. Yes, he's got that right leg
Kind of the other angle
with
is
his
the
right
back side
arm
to the far side.
wrapped
Dan, which
underneath
player
it.
are we looking at? Number, please.
He clearly lifts. He probably can't put him
Okay, so
down
it's
because he
number
gets
6,
cleaned
is
out
it?
himself. I think Scott's CO comes in and cleans him out, does he? Well, no, it's Fizzle out.
See, Feyi-Waboso almost drives him up, which
Yeah.
might be some
8 to
mitigation.
6. You look at the actions of it 8 because he takes him above, he doesn't bring it down safely.
Okay, keep playing angles.
Yeah, Fitzalow's head's underneath him.
Yeah.
So that is a big mitigating factor for
So
me.
Dan, so just keep playing angles, keep playing angles. So at the moment we do have a lift in action. So keep playing angles for me, please. We have a lift in action by number 6.
Yeah,
by
we're going
number
to get
8.
other angles.
We then goes over number 6, which would obviously apply mitigation here. So we're just making sure it's at the yellow card threshold in terms of. So there is a lift there. He does lift him up, and then number 6 affects the outcome. So I'm going to go yellow card against number 8.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, number 8. 8.
Juan Martin Gonzalez to be sent to the bin.
Who's 8?
I think that's exactly the right decision. There's danger because he lifts him,
Number 8.
but having lifted him, he does get cleared out.
Clearly impacted by the other Saracens players. That's why it's yellow card. Just here.
Ready, go again.
tackle.
The upshot, for such a dynamic, frenetic incident, is a chance for Exeter to probe the corners, and Hayden Woods missed it. Brandon Jackson lashes it into the stand, so there will be a big yardage gain for the Chiefs, but just so many mistakes.
And you can't put your finger on why, can you, Jamie? You know, even the line out just before this, it's almost like individual skill error. It doesn't look like it's a team thing. It's hard to pinpoint.
Oh, the trick play from Townsend to Innards. 1-2, scrum half and hooker from Hewlin. Exeter made 7 trips to the Ulster 22 last weekend. They scored from 4 of them, and they've milked the penalty advantage. Saracens offside as Roots thunders into Tizard. Townsend, Hawkins the playmaker, sending it wide for Hammersley, belting up the touchline. Liam Williams doing a great job of slowing that down for Saracens. Townsend to Seo, the enormous wallaby. Roots wants another crack at rattling some cages, loosening some hinges. Hayden Woods, Rigg, good read from Jackson, but Rigg strong enough to slide away from the winger. Townsend again. Hayden Wood throws the dummy. Lazowski gets him. Rigg, furious charge from the centre. Feyi-Waboso through the hands but backwards. Tommy Wyatt's up on the line, but he is rumbled onto his rear end. This is capstick. Time was, in positions such as this, you could bet your mortgage on Exeter finding a way to smuggle the ball over the line.
Offside, number 10.
But this time they will need the penalty.
It's a great defensive effort from Saracens. Much better fluency in the attack from the Chiefs. But under huge pressure, they just did enough to slow it down, come back for the original infringement, but missing Gonzalez on their own line. They're going to have to go through it all again now, Saracens.
On the 5.
Crucial for the Chiefs that this drill's perfect.
Scoring from roughly 1 in 5 visits to opposition 22s in the Premiership this season. They've not been ruthless enough. First part of the job completed. First box ticked. Now they rev the engine. Saracens are in trouble here, and Exeter will score. Gauntlets thrown down. The 7 men of Saracens pulverised, and Jack Innards popping up with the pill.
And the drill's nice, they set up, they don't panic. And then as they move forward, Saracens just get spun. And they end up with 3 or 4 players behind the ball, ineffective, spat out of the back of it. It's a good initial charge from Balmain, but as they roll around that left-hand side, all the white shirts follow him. Exeter just straighten up, and as soon as they've got that momentum, everything defensively down the left-hand side for Saracens. And then from an Exeter point of view, they just shear off and go towards the post and lose all those white shirts behind them.
Tries good.
Rob Hunter, the forwards coach, who orchestrates all of the set-piece jiggery-pokery for Exeter, roaring and fist-pumping in the stands. And from roars to groans, Hayden Wood pulls his kick wide, but Innards.
That's a rock-solid drive, and as you said, Ben, the Saracens defence, they split left and right, 2 players on the right-hand side, the rest of their pack on the left-hand side. Exeter, to their credits, they rock-solid through the middle of that maul. See Dab Jenkins there. You can become the ball winner, but as soon as that ball's down, you transfer. You can transform yourself into somebody who can help drive the front of that maul. Don't just be a dead weight. Really strong at the front of that maul. Saracens could only go up the side, but straight through the middle. Great drive setup.
Sometimes when you are that jumper and you're compromised up high, all you're trying to do is stop the opposition from getting through to your drivers behind you. And Vermeulen there was in prime position, and Jenkins just fought off anyone that might have stopped him.
Would you believe it's just the 2nd maul try Exeter have scored in 11 league games this season?
Use it, it's there.
Not been anything like the weapon that perhaps once it was in these parts. Tester for Liam Williams. He's made a career out of dealing with balls like that. All a bit loose, and Feyi-Waboso has gobbled it up for the Chiefs.
Tackle!
half of that Gonzalez sin bin period elapsed. Exeter will be so hungry to pile on the points while they have that power play. But speaking of power plays, Elliott upending Joe Hawkins.
Use it.
Well, their opponents are down to 14 men, by the way. Exeter have a points aggregate of 19-4, 0 conceded. Penalty Saracens.
If you appeal, I'm going to reverse the decision next time. Do not scream for decisions at me. Holding on.
It's a great tackle, isn't it, under the ribs. Just
Thank you.
on that technical point on the tackle, if you are throwing a ball to someone and they have to put their hands above their head, they lose all their ability to set themselves properly for contact. So you completely give the advantage to the tackling player. Just that fraction of a distance off. You want to be hitting the sponsor's logo on the front of the chest. And as soon as the hands go up, there's not a lot you can do there, apart from just take your medicine. Really good read, gets in there early, but his hands were already exposing his rib cage.
First time Saracens have occupied this patch of muddy Sandy Park real estate inside the 22. Pifaretti fishes it out. Lazowski wanted to stab it through for Hartley. All a bit loose, all a bit untidy, and then Williams has pilfered it back. Hartley steaming to within 2 metres. Fonseal caught by Brown Bampo. Wilson took it on. Capstick squirrels it back. And then Townsend blasts away. Anarchy, anarchy in the 5 metre zone.
Townsend would have been better putting that down the middle of the field. There was no one home for Saracens, obviously, having been attacking.
Just, and if he does, the TMO will tell me.
I tell you what, I don't know whether that was a knock on. Did the ball hit the... He threw it down and the ball hit the ground first.
Yeah, no problems.
I credit Will Rigg here. He comes off the line really well and spooks him, as well as Hayden Wood. I think that's why there's the skill error. They sort of do well to get in their face. Exeter actually scramble well from here as Capstick and Dav Jenkins work so hard. You think he's nearly in, but Capstick and Dav Jenkins, there they are, busting the guts to get around the corner. Brown Bamford as well, just to put some pressure on Van Zyl. That's a great turnover to bail out, but you're right, Benny, the option was actually just straight downfield.
Playing the 9 when he's playing the ball away from the rock. No, we're not going to take him off the screen. He's onside for me, and he tackles the 9. It's a knock-on with Mr. Miguel with it.
Just a bit of a discussion about Brown Bampo's tackle on Van Zyl as he was looking to exploit that overlap down the left-hand side. He just did enough to make it look like a legitimate attempt to make a tackle rather than a swinging arm trying to stop the ball.
Pifaretti hits young Max Eek on his first Premiership start in jersey number 6. And Saracens looking for a riposte in identical fashion. Pifaretti breaks. Fonseal, Hartley, 6'3", over 100 kilograms, on the hoof. Fonseal complaining as being impeded.
Ivan, no, I don't need you. No, sorry. I've got multiple players screaming at me. Yeah. Next one's going to leave the field of play. I'll make decisions what I see, but not having it.
Just think, we might have seen one of the new laws missed. A look on here, but remember now, if you're involved in the line-out, or the maul, I should say, you're not allowed to tackle the 9 if he's within a metre of the breakdown. So.
On the line. Yeah, halfway, please, halfway.
Just see on your far side here, as Van Zyl breaks away, who leads and makes it? Well, it's actually Pifaretti. So that's all right then, because it's not the 9. That's why it's not. Because he was part of the maul and he broke away, fair game. But if it had been the 9, that might have been against the Chiefs.
Meantime, a third Exeter line-out has gone awry.
Don't pull, players, don't pull!
Threw that one straight into the back of a meaty front rower.
Use it!
Fonsail into the skies. Brown Bampo underneath it. Jackson for company. Good footwork from Brown Bampo, who fights through the collision.
Use it!
And once again, we apologise if any industrial language has been picked up by Tempest referees, Mike.
Okay,
It
use
is
it!
pretty hot-tempered so far, as you'd expect. Certainly expect nothing less than a full-blooded affair between these two. Brown Bampo giving chase. Lost sight of the ball.
Back.
So did Hugh Tizard and Michelot.
Use it!
Oh, Pifanetti's coughed it up. And Saracens' attack dies.
I think that's good work, a result of good work at the breakdown defence from Exeter. You just notice that they're working so hard at counter-rucking, getting into position, just making themselves a nuisance. They're never sort of dead after that tackle. They're getting back on their feet, trying to fight back through.
Watching a good bit of play from Townsend on the last phase. He just grabs hold of a boot to make sure that it doesn't flip down and dislodge the ball as he goes to pick it up. Watch Townsend here. There's a red boot in the way. I'll just make sure that doesn't affect the ball. I'll hold on to it, put it exactly where I want it, and we won't have an error at the base.
Saracens back to 8 men at scrum time, but the result is the same. Exeter penalty, and Hayden Woods shipping it out to Hawkins and Wyatt. Slides around Elliott, releases Hammersley. 21-year-old who's been so impressive this season, had to deputise as a centre as well, given the injuries the Chiefs have carried. Hayden Woods, shot to nothing here. Jackson comes forward. Super take, but it's not going to make his highlights reel because Exeter were on penalty advantage.
Real shame, Brandon Jackson, because he'd read that perfectly.
On me. Lads, thanks. End of the mark. Thanks. Sorry. Thank you.
Statistically speaking, Exeter winning the fewest penalties on average in the league this season. Got a penalty balance forward against of -30, shipping a lot. And that line-out continues to be a real eyesore for Rob Baxter and his coaching staff. They have scrambled it back through Brown Bampo. And here's Seal. Townsend took a wee tumble, couldn't quite get himself over the hefty frame of Wilson. Up it goes from the scrum half. Jackson coming forwards, and there's obstruction there, an escorting line on Brown Bampo from Max Eek, which the officials have spotted.
It's quite an obvious line, wasn't it? He wasn't running back towards the support player, ran straight across. It was Brown Bampo, I believe, wasn't it?
So I've got 9 white, he's not staying 2 and 2 when he's defending in that 5-metre channel.
Okay.
I've asked if he's not listening to me.
Here we go, it's a nice kick. Just outside the 22, comes right across Brown Bampo. You can see his line of running there. He's not going anywhere near back towards Jackson. He's going to go try and support his ball play. Comes right across, quite an easy one for the ARs.
Pressure throw for Inard, hits Roots again. Same recipe that led to that try for the hooker. The only try so far.
Much better response from Saracens defensively, albeit further out.
What kind of pictures can Exeter paint for this Saracens defence? Only Newcastle conceding more points per match in the league this season. Townsend, Roots, carries with such fire and brimstone. And then he loses his payload. And Saracens have it back, or do they?
There's a knock-on from Black back there, mate, yeah.
Well, Sarah Cox has spotted a knock-on. You can hear the assistant referee coming in over the airwaves. She spotted the error,
Just drop back a bit.
and Exeter empty-handed.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Knock on Black, scrum, white ball.
Just wonder whether it'll become a bit of a game of field position for Saracens. It's a little bit nervy when it's down here.
Here we go, Tossie.
Young, inexperienced side, probably giving away a few pounds, a few kilos to this big Exeter pack. They don't want to be spending large amounts of time defending the pick and go, the one-off runners. You feel that Exeter will have the upper hand there, will win the collisions.
Bind! Start! Advantage.
How's that for a response from Saracens? Penalty advantage at scrum time, and Fonsail out to Elliott, who stabs it forwards and straight out. So back will come.
Tight head angle.
5 metres inside.
Yep, there you are.
Joshua Scott not keeping those hips square. Under real pressure. Saracens certainly winning the engagement.
Those are the tight head go off the floor very often these days, do you?
Perfect,
As you said, Benny, he came across that scrum and he was branding him, just went right underneath him.
Ball, lads. Your hooker's got the ball. Mark's here. Thank you. There's your mark. We're inside with Louis. Louis, here's the mark. Thank you. We didn't have a ball.
Louis Johnson, summer signing from Newcastle Falcons, his first Premiership outing for his new club today.
On the line, please.
Knocks it into touch.
They just go on the put in, don't they? Fonsail rolls it pretty much towards the number 8's feet, and they just get that early shove on Joshua Scott, just caught off.
Here comes Saracens, Hartley busting up the middle. Really exciting young talent. Johnson in the pocket, looking for Juan Martin Gonzalez, who was trundling up the touchline at some pace, but Hammersley has covered it well.
Don't go in there, don't go in now, don't go in.
Seal.
Okay, use it!
Townsend again, comfortable off either foot, using the left this time. And Liam Williams looking to spark something from deep for the visitors. Oh, Brian Bampos hoovered up that pass from Johnson. And a ripple of excitement around Sandy Park as the Chiefs look to construct something here, but Hayden Woods returns the compliment. Saracens possession now. Gonzalez to Lazowski. Covered well by Wyatt. Jackson looming in his crosshairs. But Wyatt with a very assured clearance and a chance for us to draw breath. A chance for the Exeter director of rugby, Rob Baxter, to draw breath as well. It's been a messy, frenetic opening 25 minutes or so. Rob, how have you assessed it?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what's happened, isn't it? I mean, you can tell, you know, from kind of where we are, we're a little bit edgy, a little bit nervous. If anything, we're probably forcing things a little bit too much against a Saracens defence that's pressing at you and kind of comes at you. And we've probably just got to get our balance right about where we're going, because we're clearly trying to play and we're trying to do good things in the game. That's very apparent. How we can tidy that up now is going to be a battle for the lads as we go through the minutes.
Is that more of a psychological thing than a skill issue, Rob?
I think it is a little bit, because obviously what we've got to try and encourage the guys to do is not go into their shell under the situation we're in. We're trying to win games, and obviously that's what we've got to do. We're going to make the odd mistake. We're going to be a bit edgy and nervous. We've just got to find our way through games a little bit, and we're okay. I mean, we're winning at the minute. You know, we're doing some good stuff as well. It's not all extreme, but we're probably just making that few more mistakes than they are.
And just very quickly, Rob, lineouts, a couple have gone awry. What are you seeing in that area of the game?
Again, we're just probably not just going through that process quite correct. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's just that kind of disparity: call, action, get on with stuff. You know, and we're just being messy at the minute.
Rob, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it as ever.
Thank you.
Saracens get away with this one, but it's really poor presentation. After you land, the ball gets transferred, you never put the ball up behind you like that. You let someone come and get it from you. A forward from the opposition can put their hand over the top and slap it out of your hands back towards their own team. But B makes it much more difficult for that transfer between the backman, who's the central part of setting up a maul for the drive. So they'll get another go at it here, maybe. They're going to cut the line out down, 5-man. 6-man.
They lost 4 lineouts against Cast in that shock defeat at the Stonex last weekend. This one's worked well, and Hartley again with all his ballast, all his explosiveness. Gonzalez, neat tip on to Tizard, who's lumbering through the middle. Exeter bring him down 7 short. Fonseca, space out wide. Williams, Elliott scorching towards the corner and home. Beautiful try from Saracens, and Sandy Park falls into stony silence.
Yeah, it's a brilliant try, all made by Gonzalez. Indiscretion early on, but he's made up for it now. It's all the way he hesitates and just puts the brakes on, lets that final defender come towards him. It's Vermeulen, and he gets tempted like a bull in a matador, and as soon as he steps in towards Gonzalez, he just releases Tizard, makes that initial break, and then it's just about capitalising. There's that delay on the pass, just the hold. Doesn't take any steps forward and take Tizard's space away. He just allows them to keep coming, times the pass well, and then they've got the overlap on the outside. Elliott does really well to make sure his grounding's accurate.
What a season this young man is having, Tobias Elliott. 6 tries in 14 matches this year. As Lazowski hooks his kick, but Saracens in the lead, and Tobias Elliott scoring another.
It's a nice pass from Liam Williams. Tobias Elliott doesn't have to break his stride whatsoever. He does well, just gives it to him quite early. Tobias Elliott putting pace onto that ball and makes it so difficult for the cover and defence. Quite basic skills done well. Proves effective.
It's not just back row players that Saracens are missing. There's a great galaxy of back 3 stars absent today as well. No Daly, no Alex Good, of course, still working his way back from injury. Rotimi Shegan picked up a calf injury against the French opposition last weekend, which could keep him out for around 3 months. Lucio Cinti, the centre from Argentina, not available either. Long and painful list of missing men. Jackson hoping to seize his chance, but seizing the ball is Tommy Wyatt. Leonard. Hawkins. Hayden Wood out the back. Clever footwork from the fly half. Exeter just not quite producing the requisite fluency to pull this Saracens defence apart. Hawkins now drops it over the head of Fonseca, who will call the mark.
Okay, now we start, please. Time.
Here's Hayden Wood pointing to the skies, asking Tommy Wyatt to scuttle after it. And taken by Hartley, who just brushes aside Tommy Wyatt. You can see his physical attributes every time he touches the ball. Carry number 7 for the young centre. Nobody's made more in the opening half hour or so. Nobody kicks more, by the way, than Saracens. Nobody specifically than even Fonseca. 29 times per game, Saris stick these box kicks up, and Jackson. Oh, it's gone backwards, and Gonzalez. Will they waste on the bounce? Chaos reigns. The try will be checked.
Check the knock on. He can say. It's Gonzalez reacts quicker than anyone else on the field at the moment.
Knock on field decision is try. I have it back by Black on field.
We saw him in the first minute of the game, first kick-off, getting that turnover, quickest to react. The part in the first Saracens try, he's had a big part in this one. Oh, does that just come forward off the hand of Brandon Jackson? Right hand there, that's on. I think that's a knock-on, don't you?
Okay,
yeah,
Tempo, I've got a decision for you.
Okay.
It clearly comes off the Saracens player's right arm last, goes forward, so you overturn your on-field decision.
Try. Just give us a mark, please.
It's not going to count.
It's just after the 10-metre line. Let me get the point on the pitch.
Good refereeing though. If you're not 100% sure, let it play out.
Just 10 made towards the try line, not the halfway. Sorry? I'm just finding out the exact mark.
I know they didn't get what they wanted, Sarries, but it's a bit more Sarries, isn't it? Really good kick, really good kick chase. It feels like they're just trying to force a pass or two. We heard Mark McCall before the game saying he wants them to play, and I'm like, yes, of course you want to play, but it's in the right area of the field at the right time. You just feel Exeter. Townsend's doing well, he's going to the boot a bit, playing the territory game. Saracens just needs to be a little bit more Sarries. I know they're in the lead, but to get a bit more territory, try and force errors out of Exeter by pinning them back, and that was a good example. Didn't get the try, but it was a good kick chase.
Sefa Scott's learnt his lesson, just got beaten on the gun by Brantingham last time. There's the engagement, stay in the fight. Takes him nice and low.
Start using!
Fisinal picks and introduces Will Rigg, who beat no fewer than 5 defenders, Champions Cup duty last weekend. Capstick, who owns a pizza business with his brother, from the rugby pitch.
I've got contact with the net by 4 Saracens.
Townsend goes high. Brian Bampo wins the ball.
Repeat that, I can't hear. Is that a neck roll?
Yeah,
I think Exeter will have
advantage.
penalty advantage here for a neck roll, just as Townsend box kicked. So they've got a freebie here, the Chiefs. Wyatt floating it wide, and it's knocked into touch by Elliott.
He's tapping that to catch.
Yeah, it's not back.
Thank you. No. On the line.
Advantage go.
Yeah, that's yours.
Wilson wasn't the
Advantage
worst
over.
neck
He's
roll
trying
I've
to
ever seen.
catch.
I think
He goes
just a
backwards
slight
and
twisting
switch.
movement goes in on the counter ruck here. Just, oh yeah, just to pull it off to the side. Spotted, referee happy, advantage has been played.
Yeah, he does release him after, so just a
Over
penalty.
15. Release, lads.
Here come the Chiefs again. So much of the game played in this rutted middle third of the pitch.
Good choice, good choice.
Can Exeter produce something with a bit more fluency? Brian Bampo might help them with that. 3 tries in his past 2 matches. Townsend, Seal dipping the shoulder into Michelot. Game's top tackler with 9. Townsend, Hammersley's off his wing. 2 wide men looking up on the right-hand side, but Saracens leeching the penalty. And it's Liam Williams who comes up trumps.
So Exeter's clear out for the 2 rucks before this is brilliant. They're really aggressive. Watch their first man. He gets the threat and he drives them past. You can't go too far past now these days, but they're very aggressive. But Liam Williams gets in there, and I think it's Brown Bampo, maybe, I think it was Hayden Wood. They just did not clear him. He's strong at that. He's one of the better sort of back 3 players that you'll see playing the game. Cunt will go over that ball. But backs have got to marry up with what the forwards are doing. The forwards are doing a great job at generating momentum, being aggressive through that clear out. Good one just seen there. Nice pass over the top from Joe Hawkins. And now you've got to get rid of this threat.
It is a lifter, and you're not captain, so I don't need you.
It's the next ruck. He just beats him, doesn't he? And Hayden Wood just cannot get rid of Liam Williams. Got to really blow that away.
What Liam Williams does really well there is get his legs and his body behind the tackle, so he doesn't actually have to put his hands on the man, because he knows the tackle's being made by someone else, but he's stopping any momentum they've got, so that ends up with the ball carrier just falling at his feet, and he's going to win that battle then to get his hands and his shoulders down quicker than the clear out. Really good play from Williams.
Salas' line out this time coming under pressure. Johnson probing it through for Jackson and Lazowski. Wyatt, the hot stepper, leaving his way out of trouble, shrugging aside the tackle of Gonzalez. Townsend, Rigg, Hayden Wood injecting some pace. Hawkins to Hammersley. This is Vermeulen, Exeter's heaviest hitter in the back row. Linked this week with a move to Japan in the coming months. Chiefs, of course, have Wallaby Tom Hooper in a similar mould to Vermeulen coming next season. Linked as well, by the way, with Lewis Chesham of Leicester Tigers, who have been doing the rounds in the grapevine this week. Hawkins torpedoing action, torpedoing just inside. And Saracens will have to throw it inside their own 22.
Well, they're not going to have their hooker. Pifoletti's down. Looks like he's holding his groin.
mark.
It's the last thing Saracens want as well, Ben, with Jamie George injured and then probably away with England if he gets fit enough in time. Theo Dan's with
Time
England.
off, please.
James
Walk it
Hadfield
out.
on the bench today covering
Time off. There's limited stuff I
Hooker,
can
only
do.
just back from his own injury layoff.
Just gets underneath the tackle, doesn't he? Almost gets his body compressed on itself by a really good carry.
The tackle.
Yeah, it's going to be a head injury assessment for Capelli Pifoletti, just to make sure that no risks are taken with his head and brain. And James Hadfield, the aforementioned, on to replace him. Scored 6 tries in a single match in the Prem Cup a few months ago against London Scottish, and not all of them the customary hooker flopping over from the back of a maul. There was a couple of free-running 30-yarders tossed into the mix as well.
He's the line-out caller. You've got to have that in your mind. New hooker on the field. You have to give him a throw that he wants to throw. You've got the really good outlet at the front of Gonzalez. Oh, that's round the neck there from... That's just a stupid penalty to give away from Roots.
It's ridiculous.
It's prolonged around the
He
neck.
was an 8-time Jiu-Jitsu champion back in New Zealand, but
Number 6.
that's probably more suited to, I don't know, the dojo, the octagon, whatever it is they use in Jiu-Jitsu, not the rugby pitch.
Yeah, in his defence, the only thing I think, maybe Gonzalez was like deliberately holding his arm around his neck. I think that's what Ethan Roots was complaining at. He's trying to release his arm, but Gonzalez might be quite crafty then, holding it in to make it look worse.
Where are we, Coxie? Thanks, mate.
It comes down from this throw. Let's watch what Gonzalez does.
Thank you.
It is clever, but the initial, it's still a penalty. The initial thing that he does, I think, certainly pulls at the neck, but very clever from Gonzalez.
Ethan Roots, by the way, tells us he gave up Jiu-Jitsu because he started dating his coach's daughter and was kicked out of the club.
Take it. The coach was slightly better at Jiu-Jitsu than him as well.
All good, Coxie?
We didn't teach him that trick with Gonzalez anyway. Final 4 minutes and some change of this first half. Vermeulen commanded off
Hands on
it.
floor first. Okay, start on.
And Fonseca again, as we often see in this part of the pitch. Saracens taking the aerial route. Everybody's onside because the ball was half charged. And the ball, as Harry Wilson's gets through Fisilal so well. Front foot ball for Sarries. Johnson, cross fielder for Jackson. Brown, Bampo and Wyatt get in each other's way, and Jackson pouncing upon Wyatt, and he is dumped over the touchline unceremoniously.
I just think it might have been poor decision to go to the boot here. Maybe pre-called because the defensive line was quite well spread. There's opportunities to attack with hands there, I think. Well covered at the back with the back three, Brown Bampo. And closing the door at the back, Tommy Wyatt. So
Yeah, no problem.
sometimes you need to have a couple of phases where you can narrow up that defensive line before you look to go to the boot.
I think you're right, particularly off the turnover. You know, Saracens were set up, they had numbers in the back line. Off the turnover, it's very unlikely that Exeter are going to get straight into shape and then be able to be aggressive off the line. It felt like it was going to be 2 passes into the 15-metre channel, maybe cause a dent. That's what it felt like the option was. Look, I never played 10. I know it's a lot harder and much easier on the pitch and much easier to see up here. But that was an opportunity. You just felt hands would have done the job.
So you're right, a bit of inexperience. There's probably been a game plan. We've seen a couple of crossfield kicks, just a game plan maybe to, you mentioned about the size difference between the two teams. Maybe just try and spread a bit of width on this game for Saracens, tire some of those bigger bodies for Exeter out, open up some gaps down the middle, and then later on in the game attack through those.
We will not see Capelli Pifoletti today again. He has failed his head injury assessment, so James Hadfield will be hooking for the duration. Fonseca fizzing it out to Hartley. Tizard not long back from his own ban for a nasty clean out on Sammy Arnold up at Newcastle back in mid-November. Ball shoots out, Fonseca bats it back, and Balmain as well to take it off his laces. Fonseca, change of direction to Hartley, puts the step on, but Capstick alive to it.
That's right, Capstick's having a monster game today. He's everywhere.
Brantingham and Eek CO hunting for the steal, doesn't get rewarded. Not deemed to have lifted that ball sufficiently. Fonsale, Michelot, Johnson, Lazowski getting around the Exeter blitz to Elliott. Oh, out the back door it went and out the pitch too.
Yeah, thank you. Touched. There's no lift. Your hands are on the ball, but there's no lift. Thank you, Eric.
CO just
Open,
asking
please.
why that wasn't given. He dragged the ball back towards his side, but didn't show enough of a lifting action.
Saracens open, Fraser.
They are hustling well at the breakdown, Exeter. As you mentioned, Ben, CO questioning, but they're all having a go, whether it's a counter-ruck or a jackal.
Oh, it's loose from Exeter again, thrown over the top and into Saracens' paws. Michelot, who has been everywhere. Fonsale, Johnson, Hartley, Lazowski to Williams. Lovely slick handling from Saracens. Jackson on the inside to Lazowski. Tizard loses it. And another attack fizzles out pointlessly.
Chiefs shooting themselves in their own feet at the moment with the line out, gifting Saracens an opportunity. Saracens not wanting to go in and have rucks, that because of that threat that Sam was talking about at the breakdown. Here's the one over the top. No one's ready for that apart from Fonsale. And then if you just watch the interplay, they don't want too many breakdowns because of that threat of the likes of Capstick and CO we've just been talking about, trying to keep it alive, but just a bit of inaccuracy.
Okay, stand up. Time off. Stand up, more space, please, lads.
Ben, just as a line-out caller, did you ever like calling those balls over the top? I always think they're so risky. Did you ever like going to those?
There's times where you think it's on, but often that's like intel from, you'd go and ask the people at the back, you know, what's happening around there. If they're going really hard on a lift at the back, you might think it's on. You know, you might just try and keep them honest, throw the odd one over the top.
Get it out!
Final seconds of the first half. Exeter ordered to play. Don't imagine they'll play too much more from this position.
No, backwards.
Townsend back to Hayden Woods. Clock ticks red. And Hayden Woods sticks it out. It's been a testy old scrap down in the West Country. Played on a mucky, sandy park surface. One try apiece, but it is the heavily depleted and much changed Saracens who have that slender advantage as they head for Oranges. Half-time at Sandy Park. Exeter 5, Saracens 8. Well, this time last weekend, Exeter were locked at 17 points apiece over at the Kingspan in Belfast and went on to concede over 40 points in the second half. But in the Gallagher Premiership, at least, no team has shipped more second-half tries than Saracens Hall of 23. And after a messy opening 40, who can step up and provide some accuracy, some ruthlessness in this decisive half of English top-flight rugby. No changes to either side at the break, and Ivan Fonsale, the skipper, hoists one for Wyatt to claim. He's been steady under those aerial bombardments today. Townsend to Innards, who scored that first Exeter try all the way back in the 11th minute. Roots barrelling round the corner. Townsend. CO from a standing start. Named Scott after Scotland, believe it or not, where his father was playing in the Rugby World Cup. The Manu Samoan Heroes of 1991.
Actually, just rolling the wrong way there. I think he was trying to get out of the way, but maybe just lost where the ball was. Sometimes difficult when you're trapped in at the bottom of a ruck. You're not 100% sure where the ball is. He rolls towards that stand as we're looking at it, right on top of the ball, just slows it down slightly.
Thank you, Fraser, thanks.
Ben, what would the key messages have been from a line-out point of view for this Exeter team? They've missed 4, I think, in the first half. Now they've got a shot to apply some pressure if they can nail the drill.
Part of it is not overcomplicating why it's going wrong in your mind. You just have to hit those drills, because as soon as you lose confidence, there's a slight hesitation from one of the lifters and you're not getting maximum height.
Advantage.
Well, they'll get the penalty, or the free kick, I beg your pardon.
Numbers, one too many in the line. Numbers,
let
one
off
too many in the
for
line.
them. But clearly, not much said.
Whatever those messages were, they fell on deaf ears. Here come the Chiefs, though, with the reprieve, with Feyi-Waboso, son of a Tongan international centre. Roots always brings the puggy and the power. Townsend to Inard, almost cleaved in two by Hadfield. Big shot. This is Seal. Townsend. Feyi-Waboso with the step. Smacked by Wilson. Townsend to Vermeulen. 6 metres out, Exeter Chiefs. But Tizard and Michelot over the top of it with a wonderful steal.
Saracens spot it. Inard can't walk. He's actually hopping at the moment. Could have been an opportunity to go here.
Okay, thank you. Use
Attack him. He's now being supported. I think it's Hawkins coming out to cover that part of the defensive line, but fortunately they have Dan Frost on the bench, who will add a little bit of momentum if Inard can't continue. Really good power play from the Chiefs, much better, loads of latch drives.
Number 3, Exeter 2, please.
Almost
Exeter
at times
2.
in that passage of play
Saracens
looked
3.
a little bit like the Chiefs of old.
There's a sub both, yeah. Number 2.
Yeah, Jack Inard's not going to be able to continue. Dan Frost is already onto the pitch, and Saracens making a change in their front row as well, with Fraser Balmain replaced by that man in picture there, Alec Cleary. Big Northerner, 79th game today, yet to score a try.
We complete. Okay, time back on, thank you.
Sam, talk to us a bit about Nathan Michelot, young open side flanker. What do you like about him?
Joe, I loved his instinct then to go for that ball. I think that's what you look for with the 7, when they step up for big moments when you need it. Exeter looked good, 6 phases in, had numbers to the ball, and he just pounces in at the right time. And I think, you know, your top 7s, they can step up for big moments. He's obviously had loads of them for the 20s. Come off the bench last week, great opportunity to start this week. Just pounces in at the right time. Really good instinct for the breakdown.
Well, Exeter have pinched the ball back from Saracens, and now they have another chance to do something in this 22. Wide it goes from Wyatt. Hammersley, he's got flashing feet, but he can't run without his legs. Roots. Phil Brantingham being helped to his feet in backfield. Saracens defending with 14 here. Brantingham, there he is, top of your picture, working his way back in, but Exeter are attacking his channel now as Hawkins steps back against the grain. Townsend. Oh, Vermeulen, it's loose. And Michelot hacks it on, and Juan Martin Gonzalez is on his bike. Wyatt covers well, and now it might open up for the Chiefs. Wyatt through the dummy, and then got stopped emphatically.
Brilliant defence from Brantingham, because he was exposed. He got back into the position. Gonzalez ahead as a lead runner in the defensive line.
Here's Hawkins. Floated out to Hammersley, taking on Elliott, but win that physical tussle. Roots. Vermeulen. Hayden Woods. High crossfielder for Paul Brown-Bampo to gallop after. Jackson neatly transferred on to Fonseca, and Saracens look to break here with Gonzalez burning up the middle. Lovely pass to Lazowski. Just couldn't get that offload away, and that's why Townsend impeding him. Freebie for Sarries. Johnson. Won't be a 50-22, will be a penalty.
And off feet.
Good speed from Saracens, good speed of transition from attack to defence, and vice versa at the moment.
Time off.
They are just winning those quick reactions for me in this game. A couple of times when they've been turned over by Exeter, their defence has been really sound off the back of it. And this time, turning defence into attack very quickly. Away from home with a young side. It's a good strategy. Let's not forget, they've got a bit of experience on the bench. So if they get to the 50-minute mark, maybe 55 minutes, you'd expect to see some of those players, the likes of Nick Tompkins coming off the bench, Aroni Maui, just to add a little bit, Fergus Burke at 10. It's been a pretty good strategic performance from Saracens so far. I think Mark McCall will be absolutely delighted, panning out just as he wanted.
We'll just throw in a quick apology here for any further foul language you might have picked up during this live rugby match. It's been that kind of a game, as Phil Brantingham's claret-spattered pupil will attest. Summer recruit from Newcastle, North-East boy, so with Louis Johnson. Hasn't had too many opportunities to play, but starting for the second weekend ahead of Fijian giant Ronnie Maui, who's on the bench today. The bench, as Ben mentioned, that has got probably the slight edge in terms of experience. When you look at the cast list, albeit not always in the position we're accustomed to seeing them. Nick Tompkins did start life as a flanker.
Yeah, he's got into his own player, there's no foul play.
Covering that position today in jersey number 20. Right, Johnson to touch, and let's have a quick chat with Rob Webber, the assistant forwards and transitions coach at Saracens. Rob, the momentum swings in this game are really interesting. How do you make sure that you make yours tell here?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's been sort of ebb and flow, hasn't it, either way, and it's like you're seeing here now. Accuracy or lack thereof in the 22 probably from both teams has been a frustration. You know, we had some pressure right at the beginning of the game and we didn't manage to convert it, but it looks like we've got another chance here. So I think whichever other team can be more accurate at the top of the pitch will come through.
And how do you make sure that it is Saracens who are the more accurate? Neither team has quite strung together that clinical attack we want to see.
Yeah, I think that's probably more to do with the nature of the game than the teams themselves, if that makes sense. It looks amazingly physical out there. It's a real war of attrition. There's some huge hits going in from both teams, and you know, we're seeing a guy come off now with blood. It's a tough old game out there, and I think it's going to be a team that can weather that sort of storm and then be accurate off the back of it.
Rob, we were just talking, you're obviously in charge of the transitions, but actually you've been pretty happy with, there have been quite a few turnovers, but on the whole you've dealt with them pretty well.
Yeah, we've reacted well, haven't we? Like we had a good one just now and managed to fly hack it forward. I think the next stage for us is then how quickly can we get reconnected to defend properly after a turnover. So it's like a turnover into a bit of structure is probably where we can sharpen up a little bit.
Rob, just give us a little insight, if you can, as we see Ronnie Maui coming on for Phil Brantingham. What might you have up your sleeves from this scrum and the way you're shaping up?
My eyes won't go too past the scrum, I don't think, at this stage.
Where can you get after them at scrum time?
Well, they've picked a huge pack, haven't they? And we're trying to scrum really low, trying to get down there and occupy that space and scrum low and straight and all those good things.
Rob, thanks for your patience and your scrum pearls of wisdom. Best of luck for the rest of this one.
Bye.
Right, let's see about those low titans in the Saracens pack. Stable platform for Fonsale. Hartley, lovely floated pass back to Johnson, who took one right in the face. And then Exeter, through Tommy Wyatt of all people, have stolen it. Through the legs it goes to Hawkins, jinking away from Gonzalez.
Yeah, you've got it, mate, yeah. Come back, obviously nothing's going to come there, slow ball holding. Holding on. There you go. Sorry, I thought there was potential for numbers, so I'll look. Holding on.
Oh, Jackson, so dexterous to keep that in. Wonderful footwork. Brown Brampo scrags them on halfway.
No! Leave it.
Fonsale. Johnson. Gonzalez.
It's the shape Rob Webber was talking about, not quite
Use
there.
it, please.
Go back to the air.
Jackson
Backwards
taps it
by
down, but it's
Saracens.
run by
Release.
Exeter and by Dan Frost, who's just off the bench. Roots. Hayden Wood, opportunity for Exeter to shift this as Rigg. Double touch for Feyi-Waboso. Wyatt slick hands. Hawkins to Hammersley. Hunted down by Louis Johnson. And Sarah Cox says that's high.
He was slipping, falling into that.
Feyi-Waboso gets on it again. Third touch of this set for the number 8.
Got the advantage for
Roots behind Hayden Wood. Rigg into Michelot, and they will need that penalty.
Right tackle. Right on the 5 metre line.
So this is a tactic we're seeing. Look at the box kick, look at Dan Frost. You deliberately want an Exeter player. Now you think Exeter want to get behind the ball, but actually Dan Frost just floats in front, because teams are just knocking that ball back now on box kick. They're not going up to win, to compete, so Jackson just knocks it back. So it's good as a team to have somebody to cover up in behind, but also to support your player, but also to be in that offside position in case Saracens knock it back for a loose ball and you're there to sweep it up. So I think it's something we're seeing a lot with these box kicks. You need people to clean up, and whoever can clean up the best, you need to do that both sides of the catcher, often gets the ball back.
Double change for the Exeter Chiefs. Off goes the captain, Jenkins. He'll have a big part to play on Friday night in Paris for Wales, no doubt. Franco Molina, another Argentine, on in jersey 20, and Harvey Skinner on to run the ship in place of Will Haydenwood at fly half.
New dart thrower as well. Dan Frost sort out this line-out.
First one's a success. Saracens stem the initial tide. Ronnie Maui's giant frame lingering where it doesn't belong.
I think that's a change.
Maui's going to be penalised. Yeah, Sarah Cox calling that one in, Benny.
He did it twice. Might have got away with the first as he didn't affect it too badly, but as soon as Dan Frost tried to work his way back and not get pushed towards the touchline,
it's a penalty at the maul.
appeared next to Maui and he couldn't resist.
There's Mark. Thank you.
Not exactly inconspicuous, Ronnie Maui, 145 kilograms of Fijian muscle. Been a big player for Saracens, having arrived as injury cover a few years back during the pandemic. Part of the furniture now, and a big part in every sense. Prime position for the Chiefs. Capstick takes. Sandy Park sizzles. The beefier of the backs come tumbling in. Frost is having a cracking time there. Has he scored? Townsend waits. Molina with his first touch. Exeter will feel they have to make this count. Townsend, Skinner, the step from Rigg. Here it is. Will Rigg, big fend, big try. A chorus of stampeding Devonian hooves, trampling Saracens into the dirt. And Will Rigg, one of the biggest, most important members of this squad, scores.
We mentioned about the importance of Exeter's line-out. They finally secure one, get the drive right again, and that means that Saracens have to get really narrow because of the threat in and around that maul that was motoring towards the line. Lose too many bodies, Saracens, and then it's just an all-out rush defensively, and Exeter just have to keep their heads clear, not go forward, and just make sure they pick off those one-off defenders. And Will Rigg doesn't risk that extra pass to go wide. He backs himself one-on-one with Gonzalez, and he gets himself over the line.
Right, 7, 6, yeah.
Harvey Skinner, fresh off the bench. Strikes the upright. So just a 2-point lead.
It's a big score that in the context of the game, not just because it puts Exeter into the lead, but you'd be thinking that they'd be saying these things in that huddle. Now they're back in control. Now it's about how error-free can we be in our own half, and how much territory can we play in this game. Can we get Saracens back in their half and force them to make an error? So Exeter have got to take control. Now that's going to come from senior players like Townsend, but play the territory game error-free, and now they're back in control.
Oh, Tommy Wyatt's been charged down by Gonzalez. But Exeter have managed to pull off an act of escapism here. Brian Bampo and Feyi-Waboso. Frost on the inside. Where's this Exeter been all evening? Brian Bampo might have to play this. Protects it from Tizard. Vermeulen has to take the pragmatic route. Molina. Skinner looking for Hammersley. Where's this bouncing off the pitch?
Well, that injection of confidence, suddenly it's a changed atmosphere here. There's the charge down, but the reactions are good. Townsend at first. Brown Bampo does a really good job of getting round one and inside. Offload out the back door to Feyi-Waboso, and it was a brilliant angle change there from Frost. He would have overrun that, but he cuts his angle back towards the touchline to make sure he stays behind Feyi-Waboso for the offload. Unfortunately, they ran out of numbers, and then they came back to the other side. It was on for the crossfield kick. Unfortunately, just a little bit too much gas on the ball.
If the player isn't required, I'm going to look to continue to play, okay? We've had lots of stoppages. It's not a heading
Dan Frost
break,
was
I'm not being told.
working in Jack Knowles' pub down in Cornwall, playing for the Pirates during COVID. His job on the doors during the pandemic was to check those QR codes, those COVID apps we all had to have on our phones to go for a beer. That was Dan's job when he wasn't tearing it up with the Pirates. Got a contract up at Wasps, played really well under Di Young, then Lee Blackett, and then when Wasps hit the buffers, Rob Baxter was quick to pick him up, bring him back to the southwest. Pressure throw for James Hadfield here. To the front and to Gonzalez. In a profitable route at line-out time for the visitors. Fonseca kicks long and on. Hammersley whacks it back with interest. Wyatt giving chase. Fonseca steady under it. And Liam Williams can't get away from Tommy Wyatt. Fonseca back to Jackson, who's in a bit of trouble here. Exeter swarming all over him.
No! Play on.
Fonseca loose at the base. Aroni Maui above his head, still in that unenviable position, makes good meterage. Johnson slicey up and under. Elliott gives chase. Oh, a nasty collision with Hammersley. Ruled as legal for now, and Fonseca trickles it down the touchline. Skinner looking for help, finding the backpedaling Jacques Vermeulen, and off he gallops. Wonderful low hit from Hadfield though.
Use it.
Hear him scaring rugby in Devon. Skinner, the miss pass to Frost. Hammersley with him. Frost saw a scrum half and thought, I'll have you. This is Capstick now. Michelot with another tackle. 18 of them the youngsters made today. The familiar sounds of Sandy Park providing the acoustic track as Johnson gets ransacked. 25 minutes to play, 2 points in it.
It's a good decision, his knees were down.
He completes the tackle release.
Tough on Roots, because he wasn't to know really that Tizard had just dropped to his knees to make sure that the ball couldn't be stripped. It's actually Yusef Scott, I think, that gets the final pull out. Just wonder whether Saracens might just start thinking about Fergus Burke. Just a bit of control. A couple of times when they've gone back, it's looked like Fonseca's needed a bit of direction from his 10. He's just chosen almost the side where there's more danger. There's more of those black heavy bodies. Just maybe that little bit of calmness, someone who's been watching from the sideline with a bit more experience to come on and just put a lid on things.
Fonseca over the shoulder. Elliott after this, bouncing into 22. Wyatt recovers well. And that's an excellent outcome from an Exeter Chiefs point of view. It was once deemed to be too small by the coaches in the Bath Academy. Tommy Wyatt went back to the family farm, built himself a home gym, worked as a steel fabricator at the time, and beefed himself up to the requisite size and standard. And we're just about back where we started.
Left it back.
Perfect dozen lineouts for Saracens, 12 throws, 12 taken cleanly.
A lot taken by Gonzalez at the front. He's been such a good outlet for them, hasn't he?
Michelot. Ian Tempest running a good dummy line, the referee.
Van Zyl really taking control of this game now. You can see his experience coming through. He knows how important territory is, not overplaying in their half. He's been kicking well this second half, and it feels like momentum is swinging slowly back towards Saracens since that Exeter try.
Duster for Hammersley, he's lost it, and so has Michelot.
First knock on by Black.
Upshot will be a Saracen scrum, and a chance to remind you But what else is coming up across our platforms over the rest of the weekend? The rugby does not end here. We've got Sale against Bath and Bristol versus Newcastle tomorrow, followed by the Rugby Review, 5:15 p.m. from the Salford Community Stadium. Sam will be there, so will Johnny Beattie, Austin Healy and Brian O'Driscoll to talk about the Six Nations Championship, which of course kicks off next weekend. Premiership Cup, by the way, returns with us as well next weekend. We've got live action from the Rec a week tomorrow, 2:45 TNT2, and Bath and Bedford go head to head. And Brucey Tuima has come on for the Chiefs in that second row.
Yeah, Vermeulen's the man to have made way, so that means Capstick slid over
Time off, lads, no.
to
I'll give you the middle mark.
position.
Don't keep stepping off. We'll find a sensible gap.
First broke into this team.
There's your mark. Not too big. Get back to what you've been doing, please. Let's go. I'll put time back on 1:30. Yes, Andy. Crouch.
What do you see here, Sam, in the way that Sarries are shaping up?
Yeah, it looks like they're going to use Hartley, but do they use him as a front option, or is he a really tight block and they go out of the back, depending on how Exeter centres defend?
Not on the ball, not on the... No.
Van Sale sticks it high into the corner. Hammersley loses it. Elliott seizes upon the error. Saracens feasting on Devonian mistakes.
It's a nightmare for Hammersley. He won't want to see the replays, but he just loses the ball. Flight, twisting from one side to the other, trying to recite it. And actually Elliott does the right thing. He doesn't overcommit to it. Just turns and twists, and then he's the quickest to react as a result. Bounces lovely for him. But he could easily step in there and try and affect it more, but he almost lets it roll out in front of him in case he needs to make the tackle, but he gets more than that.
A double for Tobias Elliott, one of the brightest sparks in the Saracen squad. And now Lazowski from wide on the right. That's more like it. Splits the kindling. And Saracens lead by 5.
Again, from another good kick from Van Zyl. He's been Saracens' most influential player this last 10 minutes. You can see his experience is really standing out now. Just puts it just behind Hammersley, which makes him turn. If it's in front of him, it's easy to defend. If it's just behind him, he's got to turn. Good chase, of course, with Van Zyl. Nice variety of box kicks from himself.
Saracens have indeed brought on Fergus Burke, part of that Scotland Six Nations squad. Expected to make his debut in the coming weeks in the Six Nations. He's on for Louis Johnson. And Sam Spink, who was signed from the Western Force in Australia over the summer, replaces Ollie Hartley at inside centre. Gonzalez beaten to the punch by Wyatt. Just freed the hands for Townsend. Skinner standing deep. Real challenge of this Exeter Chiefs side, which is shorn of confidence and momentum and results. Shipped a combined 221 points in 4 Champions Cup matches this month and last. Over 120 in the past 2 weekends alone.
You're pinning them in.
How's their mettle?
Okay, use it, please.
How's their discipline? Perhaps a little too much on that from Townsend. And Williams can take the sting out of it.
10.
Liam Williams be your Six Nations starter in Paris 6 days' time, Sam?
Yep, he definitely would. I think he's probably safest option that Wales have in the air right now. I think his experience is desperately needed amongst a very young team. And he just needs some combinations back, you know, in that back three, just some experience. So I do fully expect Liam Williams, provided he comes through this game okay, to start in Paris next Friday. Just 6 days' time, 6 days turnaround.
This is Rick. No disguising his intention there. Welcome to the match, Fergus Burke. Townsend with a slap of a meaty Saracens rump. Give me that ball, he says.
Use it now. Okay, use it, please.
Townsend again, looking for some pay from these hail of box kicks. Well taken by Paul Brown-Bampo. Still in a march on the Saracens defenders. And Tuima pulling it for Rigg, all on his own. And swallowed up by the midfield defence. Cleary in there. Skinner, oh, it's a beauty over the top to Brown-Bampo. Gets rid of one and another. Timing of the pass, perfect. Tommy Wyatt streaks all the way home. Finally Exeter come alive. They show that ruthless streak they craved. And boy, it's a beautiful sport when it's played like that.
It's just brilliant from Brown-Bampo. The pass is outstanding to give him that space. He just stands up one, puts the big left-handed fend out, and then as Van Ziel comes across,
yeah, it is very tight.
He matches his first one with another one. Well, it's actually Lazowski, isn't it, who can't get there. It's the
give him some time to check it.
Who's going to check this?
Make sure we get the right angle. So Dan will go formal on this. It's really, really tight. It's important we get this right. So on-field decision, we have a try. Just making sure he's clearly not in touch.
We'll have a look at Paul Brown-Bampo's boots here. I think it's his left boot as he's tackled.
On the screen, so.
This stride here.
Oh, I think that heel maybe is. It's got to be conclusive, hasn't it? Oh, it looks better from that angle. I don't think it is conclusive, having looked at that angle. The first one I thought it was, but...
Just leave it now, leave it.
I don't think that's enough to say it's clearly over.
It's really tight, Tem, so bear with us.
Okay, mate, you've got the best angle.
This is probably the best, isn't it?
Take your time.
We need compelling evidence to overturn the on-field decision of try. Do we have it here?
No. Would be my...
Right, case closed. Play on, everybody.
Tempo, I've got a decision for you. There is nothing clear that is on the line and nothing conclusive to overrule your on-field decision.
So nothing clear to show the foot is on the line?
No, nothing conclusive.
With the on-field decision behind the line.
I agree.
No, try's good.
Have a listen to this.
Time on.
A ripple of joy around Sandy Park. Paul Brown-Bampo, once captain of his school debate club, is tearing up the Gallagher Premiership all over again. Straight down the middle from Harvey Skinner. Exeter lead again.
Exeter deserved that, and Brown-Bampo as well, just before this as well. You might remember the phase before, he won it back from a box kick chase as well, which he's done so well all afternoon. He's chased those box kicks and got up in the air, then he gets back on side, gets width, and then he goes again for another explosive display. He's had some big moments in recent weeks, and there's another one.
In amongst all that excitement, Rob Baxter has switched up both of his props. Off goes Sio and Josefa Scott. On come Quenzo Blose and Marcus Street. So the full gamut of forward replacements now made by the Chiefs. Brown-Bampo, volleyball style, spikes it back for Exeter. Scrum advantage at worst for them here. Townsend kicks it back from whence it came. Oh, it's bamboozling Burke, and Molina has it, and here's the chance. Frost shackled, but there's Roots. Exeter land a double whammy right in Saracen's solar plexus.
Well, you force your own luck, because it's a brilliant kick from Townsend to back up that pressure of the score, put pressure on Saracens in their own line. They don't deal with it. The cover's good, really good pick-up, the offload's good. Frost has been in support since he's come on. It's a good tap tackle, but Frost doesn't die with it. And as soon as Roots has got this secure, you know there's only going to be one result. the power, running full tilt, 5 from the line. He's getting over. It's a good attempt to the tackle, but that is Chiefs starting to purr. Can they get away from Saracens now and finish this job off?
Massive kick to make this a 2-score game. Nerveless.
I tell you what, Exeter coach will love about this, the amount of black shirts chasing this second kick from Townsend. 5 players could have got that ball on that last offload. The work rate and the desire to chase that second kick was amazing. And Brown Bampo again, the box kick before, wins the ball back for the 5th or 6th time this game. Excellent desire from the Exeter players, and coach will be delighted with that work ethic this late in the game.
Confirmation of another change to bring you Max Eek off. Nick Tompkins, a centre of over 30 caps for Wales. Bottom of your picture, jersey 20, covering the back row today. Such is the scope of Saracens' injuries in that part of the pitch. Did start life as a flanker, but he was, well, 14 when he rocked up in the Sarries Academy. Again, the aerial routes, nearly gives Exeter another route.
I can't credit him for another box kick chase, it's ridiculous, but he is exceptionally good at that. It does go forward on that occasion. You can see how players now just want to tap it back. Doesn't quite get it, but they're getting such good rewards from that now, Exeter.
Go, lads. Come on, boys, don't step back, please, once you settle.
There he is on the far side of the pitch there, he gets up. You can see you've just got to have players either side of that ball just to clear up. You don't see many clean takes now because players can't obstruct like they used to. So just getting up and tapping it and making it go loose. Then it's a free-for-all, so got to make sure you've got a couple of players to sweep that up.
Here comes that Chiefs surge, but they've wheeled the scrum.
Around the angle, around the corner. Forward, both sides first, around the corner.
There we are, stick a centre at flanker. That's your reward. Just give us a bit of insight into Nick Tompkins, Sam, a man you'll know from your days in that Welsh setup. He plays centre like a flanker sometimes. He's that combative, isn't he?
Yeah, I remember chatting to him when I was at my brief stint as a coach, and he did play back row, and you can see he's got a bit of 7 in him, the way he plays. Excellent at the breakdown, full of energy, punches well above his weight. Another bit of experience Wales will probably want to rely on.
Well, Sarries go over the top, and the upshot is Exeter possession. Now then, swathe of black off to the right, swathe of green and brown, unguarded in the away 22. Back trots Brandon Jackson. Frost and Hawkins leading the charge for Chiefs.
Keep coming.
Good kick.
Skinner recovers, 60 metres downfield. Lazowski ahead of him. Here's Roots, no prizes for guessing what he's going to do. Crash bang, and yes, a bit of wallop as well. Townsend. Tuima away from Maui. Frees the hands to Molina. Molina looking for Tuima again. Just doesn't quite work.
Just going for the one-handed offload and took an extra couple of steps. All dislodged. Great from Tuima to get through 3, really. And now he's thinking about it. He just holds it in the right when he doesn't really have to. He could have got his left hand back onto the ball.
Forward, both
Moment
sides.
hesitation. They haven't hesitated much. It's amazing what that boost of confidence has done. The crowd are all up, the players are all up. Dan Frost has made a massive difference since he's come on. His support lines are superb. His energy that he's put into this team.
Crouch!
So many famous clashes, so many semis and finals. Ways between these two teams. That's Paul Brown-Bampo working himself into the hearts of these Exeter supporters today. Exeter with close to 2/3 of the second half possession. And those 2 scores in 3 minutes, taking them 9 points clear. Tuima gobbles it up. Whoa, that's a Jurassic Park-esque collision.
Contact. Exeter bench Happened right in front of them, all their arms went up into the air.
Yeah, tempo, I've got head contact by White for... Yes.
Okay, next stoppage.
Yeah, Dan Jones, our TMO, you'll have heard, has seen head contact from Harry Wilson. So we'll get another look at that.
Is it definitely foul play?
In just a moment, but we're going to see it now because it's foul play and Ian Tempest has to stop.
By White for clear foul
He's suffering a bit, Harry Wilson. I think he's felt it more. Just got caught up right.
So White
first
four,
view.
we're looking at head contact down.
Clear head contact. Getting the angles for you now.
Off first view, it looks very upright and force. I can't see anything else but a red on that.
Keep playing angles, please.
There's no bend at the hips with force, and there's no mitigation of anyone else around obstructing his line of sight, really.
Bit of a tuck as well there, Ben, isn't it?
Side of the head.
Okay, Dan. I want to see the far side, see if he's rapping or not. Because from there, I can't be clear,
Yeah,
but it doesn't appear that he is rapping from that angle. So I want to see if he's rapping with that right arm, mate, or it's a secondary rap after.
It's tight, isn't it?
That angle again, please, Dan.
So I think we're making a bit of a mount out of the molehill here. I think this is quite an obvious decision. He's bolt upright, there's no mitigation, it's a tuck, it's force into the head. Got to be quicker.
Yeah, tempo, there's not an attempt to wrap that right arm.
Okay, and to be honest with you guys, I'm ready, Dan. Just one real speed to finish, please, so we can see the degree of danger on this. So real speed, and then I'll go through the contact with you. I'll go through the process. So real speed, here it is.
See,
Okay,
for the
Dan,
game,
back to me, please.
this is why we can't have 10 replays of head contact.
So question one, head contact, yes. Two, degree of danger, it's high. He's hitting forward into the tackle. There's no clear mitigation. So red card number 4.
Okay.
A flash of scarlet from Ian Tempest's pocket. And a rueful Harry Wilson removes his scrum cap and heads to the touchline. Saracens will finish this match with 14 men.
So call me negative now, but I'd be wanting to get the Exeter lads in, set up a drive maul, try and win a penalty. Now a lot of teams want to go for broke and get another try. Exeter got the bonus point, so what you want is win the penalty, get the 3 points, then you've gone more than 2 scores or 2 scores ahead. Gonna have to get 2 converted tries to get in the lead. Just got to put a knife into Saracens just when they've had a killer blow. They've got to draw some blood here, Exeter, in some way.
Coming your way, Tempo.
Mark McCall's taken his captain off. Ivan Pansel replaced by Gareth Simpson. This could be the match right here. A try now surely seals it for Exeter. And the slow poison of the driving maul seeping through Saracens' veins. On the trample, Townsend's in there, ball is down, try is scored. And Dan Frost hammers the nails into Saracens' coffin.
Well, again, like Inard's try, it's the patience of it, waiting for Saracens to make that error. And they try and spin it, but they can't do anything to disrupt it once they're in behind. They lose 3 or 4 players, Maui, Tizard, Gonzalez, all round that backside. And then it opens up and they just straighten, and they don't run, they don't allow themselves to be tripped up. They just ease through the gap that's presented to them, moving swiftly, not racing. It's a really good score.
Skinner piles on the extras. Exeter move on to 31 points.
So Rob Baxter will love that. Ruthless. Think of the kick chase they had on the try just before. Saracens dealt a red card, go to the maul, and they take their opportunity. It's a ruthless reply from Exeter. They had to do it, and the game should be theirs. It's been a brilliant reply from them, considering they were down all the way back to the Tobias Elliott try, when they picked on Hammersley with a good box hit from Van Zyl. Since then, Exeter have clawed their way back in brilliantly.
They trail by 15 points to 10 just 12 minutes ago. Hang on a minute. We've got a spectator who has taken it upon himself to have a little shot at, well, taking part in the match himself. Tell you what, we're not going to show you this for obvious reasons, but he's giving some of the stewards a run around. We're going to stay tight on Ian Tempest because he's veering dangerously close. Do you know, Saracens are that depleted. Maybe I'll get a game in the Prem Cup.
He went near Dan Frost, and Dan Frost made an action like he might tackle him, and he ran quickly off the field like a good little boy.
Do you remember, this might be your vintage, Ben, do you remember Ollie Barkley dunk tackling the spectator?
One of the greatest things I've seen.
I need to make sure it's clear for my assistants as well. So.
Right, anyway, the offending supporter, if we can call him that, has been huckled, as they say where I come from. Tossed over the touchline by 4 men in big high-vis vests, and he's going to be bounced out down the touchline. Right, anyway, that was interesting. 6 minutes to play. Saracens need to score 3 times. 2 more tries gives them potentially 2 losing bonus points.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Simpson digs it out for Saracens. Wheeling around the corner, they come with Fergus Burke, injecting such pace and class, but shackled just in the nick of time by the Chiefs. Lozowski looked up for the kick, there was nobody offering. Maui, bump and trundle. Simpson, Lozowski, Burke, flat ball for Tizard, who's lumbering up towards that 22. Hadfield,
committed.
Lozowski, oh, slicing through. Lozowski looking for options, does he need them? 2-man tackle, dislodges the ball, and with that, Saracens maybe snuffed out.
Oh, Mark McCorby pulling his hair out. The setup's brilliant. The initial first phase play.
Yeah.
Hiding on the wing, Elliott comes out, looks like he's going to get it, goes through his hands, and they find that corner.
Send him on, please. Yeah, time off.
And then it looks like Lozowski's
send him on, please.
Half through, thinking about the offload he can make for a try-scoring pass. And then the final strip tackle, just coming in there from Skinner, I think it was. Absolutely brilliant at the death. If that ball had got free from Lozowski, Saracens are back in it.
Sandy Park will serenade Stu Townsend one last time on his 100th appearance between the league and European competitions. Tom Cairns on for him. And there is the ovation. He's been influential today, hasn't he, boys?
Okay, yeah, we can set off that, we can set. Come on. Okay, it's not, okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Go on, mate. Sam's 9 with you, just go to stand next to you.
Start here and then go. Crouch!
Remember, Exeter embarked on a club record losing streak, not just this season, but in any of their 38 league seasons of 9 matches on the spin. They haven't won with a bonus point since May against Harlequins, and the perfect chance to introduce Benny for his Gallagher Premiership player of the match. Who are you going for?
Well, I think Roots has been brilliant. Brown Bampo obviously has been fantastic chasing those kicks. He's been a real live wire. Roots' physicality in the second half really came to the fore for them. But for me, the star of the show has been Tommy Wyatt at the back. Really, really good performance. Huge carrier for them. Top carrier, top meters made. And he's our Gallagher player of the match.
Great shift from Tommy Wyatt. Only recovered from 10 months out with an ACL injury back in October.
We've got problems on set of space, which we haven't had. Time is off, so we're not wasting it. So let's form, and then I'll put time back on. Come on. Time is off.
Yep, here we go.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
You're going to force me hands decisions, lads. Crouch. Bind. Set. Okay, thank you. Use it.
Cairns back to Skinner. And Skinner into the terrace.
Thanks, Gareth.
Don't miss out on our fantastic post-match parties taking place after the final whistle.
Final replacement being made by the Exeter Chiefs on Will Gallop. The hulking Zach Wimbush, all 6'6" of him, from Cornborn centre. Eligible for Wales as well. Some rumours that Warren Gatland has been sniffing around him, and it is the current Welsh international Joe Hawkins who he replaces. So all of Rob Baxter's subs made, and Olamide Shodeke on in jersey 19 for Sarries as well. His job to try and get this maul shifting. Sarries need 2 scores for a bonus point. Losing bonus point would be theirs as well. Simpson. Spink loses it, but there was a penalty advantage. There's Harvey Skinner coming up too quickly.
22. Offside.
Burke with little time
Take the 5, please.
to waste.
Don't close
Knocks
the gap.
it out.
Hold the 5.
How will Sarries reflect on this game? Ben, missing so many players. They had the lead until the 65th minute, believe it or not.
Yeah, I don't think it will derail what they're doing because of those players that have been missing. Very, very easy for them to get over, but they'll be disappointed from where they were at about 50 minutes. But they didn't see out the job, but a big learning curve for some of these players that haven't had a lot of rugby.
Here's Tompkins pirouetting into the 5-metre line. Hadfield, there's Tobias Elliott hugging the near touchline, screaming for the cross fielder.
Advantage, offside.
Penalty
Advantage.
coming for Saracens should they require it.
16.
As Gonzalez fights through the contact. Blosse working
16.
hard. Penalty given.
Offside.
Minute and 10 to go. Maui, the Fijian dump truck. Molina's offside. He'll be yellow carded as well.
Wait.
Here we go. Very swift brandishing of yellow from Ian Tempest.
Time off, please. You go to the line. 20 offside. You go to the bin. Wait,
Right, adios, Franco Molina.
Time on.
Ronnie Maui is going to have another shot at this. Size 12s tap the ball. And one of those oak trunk sized legs clung onto by an Exeter Chiefs defender.
Advantage,
Michelot.
offside.
Another penalty to Saracens. Final 60 seconds.
They need to score to give themselves one more go.
Here is the cross fielder. Lazowski, Elliott against Wyatt. Wyatt disrupts him. Elliott veering in field. Lazowski on it again. Can't get away from Hammersley, and the penalty's activated. Saracens have got to move.
They want to go quick. They want to, if they want a chance for that
I need to give you more.
4-try bonus and the losing
I need
bonus.
to give you more.
30 seconds to play. Maui has to do it again. Cemented. Brilliant 2-man hit. Time running out for Sarries to salvage something from this game. Gonzalez burrowing. Exeter defending on the line. That Hayden Thomas driven defence. Stingy today. Maui wants it again. Throws the dummy, and this time squeezes his enormous Fijian frame onto the whitewash. Looks like it's come too late though. Clock is ticked red, and doesn't sound like we'll have time for the restart. Ian Tempest just checking.
Okay, so the try was scored on 80-02, yeah? Thank you.
Yeah, that will be that. Saracens will take nothing from this game.
Try for Saracens number 17, Ronnie Maui.
Try's good.
Got no shot clock, mate.
Last act of the match for Alex Lazowski. It will have no bearing
Yeah, we
on
don't
the
have
bonus point quest. Lazowski does at least end on a note of positivity. But this right here is a win to lift a club. It's been an arm wrestle in the Devonian mud, and emphatically it is Exeter Chiefs displaying the biggest biceps in the night. Tommy Wyatt with an 81-metre, 13-carry, try-scoring performance. A first bonus point win in the league since May for the Chiefs. They've defeated their oldest and fiercest and bitterest of foes in the Sandy Park sunshine. Full time, Exeter Chiefs 31, Saracens 22.